welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 3 of Signal Fire Radio 2.0. I am your host, Rob Renz. We are so glad to have you back. It's been a very long hiatus. Matt, is that do you say hiatus?
Hiatus.
I think you say hiatus.
That's the hotel.
Have you stayed there?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to announce all the fun, cool, and amazing changes that we've made to our show format?
I don't know. Well, I think we should start by talking to our associates.
I think we should actually start by making an announcement.
Okay.
Okay? Because I feel this is just you and me, Matt, and the people who are original OG Signal Fire listeners.
What up, OGs?
What up, OGs? In the first iteration of this program, we were handcuffed. I told you couldn't let the F word fly. We couldn't say anything crazy or untowards or political or take opinions on certain things. That's all out the door now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on why?
We're no longer on the radio.
Okay, cool.
We're no longer on a radio station that was owned by a Christian organization.
Okay.
So, I mean, that gave us limitations. Thirdly, it's too much shit to ignore.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I was really going for, I'm unemployed now, so I could say whatever I want.
Oh!
But all those other things you just said are absolutely true,
right.
too. You totally
I
missed.
see where you're going
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Rob has...
I'm done.
It was God. It was a message from God, and he finally...
I sold the insurance agency, and now I'm going true hippie. Like, I looked the part of a hippie, but I wasn't really a hippie because I had a job. You
Your
know?
shoe collection says you're not a hippie.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. All right, Matt, let's introduce the new Evan. Right, this is his test run.
Hold on. Don't call him the new Evan.
Well, there's still Evan.
He is Brandon, our brother.
We are committing Brandon to 52 episodes of this year.
Can you at least cheer me on?
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Brandon Pettijohn, ESQ, which
Well
I believe
played, Esquire.
which I believe is a magazine called Esquire.
Yeah, I'm the owner.
Are you really?
Yes.
Dude, you're making bank on
Owner
that.
of like 3 versions.
The Rob Report, Esquire, and
Yep,
Men's Book.
that's
Those
right.
are all in your portfolio of businesses.
Yep.
The Port City Attorney.
At Port City Attorney.
And one hell of a good follow on TikTok.
I appreciate it.
Instagram. I don't watch TikTok. I don't watch you on TikTok, but we're connected on
Instagram's
Instagram,
getting-
and it
yeah,
makes
it's getting better.
Your TikTok content makes it over to Instagram.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes. Because all Instagram reels are just 3-week-old TikToks.
Right.
Yeah. Just jump on the balloon already came over. Let China into your phone. Just download TikTok. It's fine.
There's a meme out there somewhere that is exactly that. Like every middle-aged white male doesn't watch TikTok. We just wait for it to hit Instagram.
100%.
Like 3 weeks later.
100%.
And then we show it to our kids, and they're like,
I'm sure. Well,
Okay,
actually,
boomer.
I know for a fact you're still blogging, right?
I'm still, on occasion.
Jesus Christ, it's 2023.
Actually, ChatGPT writes all my
That's
blogs
true.
now,
That's true.
so
Thank you.
I'm not blogging. A robot is blogging for me.
That's very true.
We should talk about AI. Let's get Kevin Kirk in here, and let's do a reel. The robots are taking over the world via ChatGPT.
They are.
And in 6 months to a year, Skynet will become sentient.
I'm going to be out of a job.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a robot as a lawyer that can search every piece of case law that's ever happened right there on the spot and make an argument in court?
His name's Johnny Utah.
It's true.
Brandon, nobody can replace you though, because they won't be nearly as good looking.
No,
They won't be as funny. They'll be humorless beings, won't they?
There will be, and sorry for being crude, sex robots soon. We're all replaceable.
Wait, what?
Sex robots are coming. They're going to be super realistic.
I can only imagine.
Matt, just
Matt
make
just
sure
got
you
real
clear
excited.
your search history before you die, okay?
Does it count as
I know
cheating?
better.
Oh, see, that's a good question.
Oh,
That's a good
my-
philosophical
Great question.
Great question,
No.
and that is why we have Christina Dees, TV host and medical cannabis expert, to bring in that dynamic that we didn't already have. So let's
Rounds
start
this
there.
up.
We're going to go completely off the cuff, off topic. Is engagement with a sex robot cheating? Everybody can just give their yes or no opinion, and we can move on from it if nobody's comfortable to have this conversation.
Technically, yes. Emotional cheating.
Emotional cheating?
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I'm with that.
And see, I even think it would the sexual aspect wouldn't even necessarily matter because, like you said, the emotional aspect. So, like, what was that movie with Joaquin Phoenix, Her or whatever?
Oh,
Where he's,
yeah,
like,
where he fell in love with the
Alexa,
computer?
basically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
You
So, like,
Yeah.
I feel like
You
that would be
watched
emotional
that?
cheating. No, I just watched the Cliff
Well,
Notes.
people could argue that there's no emotional connection because it's a robot.
That's true.
You know, so it's like, I'm just actually getting
But I could
pleasure.
have an emotional connection to a
Disconnected from.
chia pet.
Well, but the emotional connection, if it's coming from the human is the one with the emotional connection.
That's
Like,
true.
How many robot movies has the human being fallen in, like WALL-E, for example, or that one that you
Oh,
just
Big Hero
mentioned,
6?
Big Hero
Big Hero
6. Like,
6.
there's all
Short
these robots.
Circuit.
That,
Short Circuit.
yeah. Oh wow, Matt's dating himself. Matt's going way back, way
Yeah,
back.
nobody even. We're like,
Our
Wait.
token boomer.
I wasn't a boomer.
No, you're that weird sandwich X millennial
Yeah.
thing.
We love you, though.
Yeah, we
I
love
know.
you. We love you. So, Christina, give just a quick intro of yourself, too, so people can get to know who you are.
oh man. Yeah, like you said, I'm a cannabis expert, but also a cannabis enthusiast or a connoisseur.
Connoisseur?
Connoisseur.
I like
it.
that.
Nice.
I like it.
S-E.
That's gonna be on my merch.
Connoisseur?
Connoisseur.
Oh, we'll come up with something cool for that.
Yeah.
Christina and I had coffee earlier this morning. Matt was there, too. We were doing pre-show prep
Thanks
for
for
this.
the invite.
Sorry. Well, you're always in court, dude.
Yeah, you were busy.
Oh, sorry.
They're like, he'll be here soon. Your chair's that empty,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
What do you?
really?
You're not really sad about it. You were billing $1,500 an hour or something.
It's not
Whatever
quite
was
that
not
much,
quite
but
that
yes.
much, but you're getting there.
He
You're getting
could
there.
have sent the robot. You know, you could have sent the
See,
Brandon robot.
5 years. 5 years, I'm everywhere.
You think?
Yeah, well, maybe.
What they could create a robot avatar off of you just from your TikTok presence alone. Like they have enough of
True.
those data touch points of your face and
I'd
your
be
mannerisms
I'd be
and your
Tupac
voice.
when he was on stage.
Yeah,
like,
the
he'd be
hologram
performing.
Brandon
Yeah.
Pettijohn.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
That's
Ooh.
creepy.
Ooh, I love it. But we were having coffee this morning, and we were talking about a logo, and I disappeared from the conversation for like 45 seconds.
That
And
was
they
the whole
were
business model. You were like down the rabbit hole.
I
You're
was-
like, wait, I gotta
I
get
was
this.
gone.
I gotta get this out. I got the logo in my head. Okay, I'm back.
So now the only thing I can think about for the next as long as we talk today is what does the Connoisseur logo look like? But I'm kind of seeing it as like a weed leaf dinosaur is where I kind of go with it. But I think we'll throw that one up on the whiteboard and keep working on it. It's probably not my best offer.
That'd be
Maybe we
Canosaurus.
could,
Yeah,
get
that's
the
true.
viewers, the listeners to like
Wonk, wonk.
send us some
Poll.
ideas.
People love the polls.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go. There's our
what
first
would you-
listener write-in request.
You listeners, what would you envision the Connoisseur logo to be?
Yeah, what would that look like? I'm thinking like some bubble letters,
Yeah.
like 60.
The
Okay.
winner will get a 1 afternoon free pass to do whatever you want with Matt.
Oh, I love that.
He can
Ooh.
clean, he can cook.
Can we
he
also
do-
get him to pay the trademarking fees too for it?
100%,
Like
yeah.
that's the real.
We
gift
just made a
right there.
contract. So
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer. So
Not with me. this is
It'll hold up in
binding.
court.
Yeah, it is binding. Well, it's recorded. I'm sure that there's all sort
That's
of
true.
all
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of precedent
Mhm.
there that if something is recorded and two people agree to it, that
100%.
yeah, it's a verbal
100%.
contract.
Yeah,
I have the IP though.
you do.
Yeah.
100
I like how he says 100%, but I'm sensing it might not be 100%. But I also don't know that it's not 100%. So I'm kind of just
Going
going with
along
him
with
and
it.
thinking
If
that
you're
it's
just
100%.
listening, imagine a giant legal disclaimer that says this is not legal advice.
Yeah, do we have to just to cover your bases as a professional here? Do we have to run a disclaimer at the end of every episode, like opinions are not their own or
I
whatever?
mean, it
might
would
be?
probably help, but
Yeah.
I'm not a very serious person, and,
Okay.
and anybody that's ever watched any of my
Yeah, and I'm not
content
very
online
serious
knows
about that
none of
idea,
this is
Robert.
serious.
Look at
Yeah.
his business card. Like
Yeah.
it's a bottle. Open a case with us.
And it's also
brilliant.
a ninja almost star.
This could
It's
be
a
used as a
ninja
weapon
rectangle.
of opportunity. Absolutely,
true, yeah.
absolutely.
Anything's a weapon.
Can you take that
enough
on the
force.
airplane? Is that TSA compliant?
Ooh,
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I think we need to get a $49 ticket from Avello to Fort Lauderdale on
So worst
Friday.
case,
Dude, I just,
Worst case, we're out $50.
yeah, I'm down.
And
Yes,
you're in, and you're in
That
Fort
would be
Lauderdale.
great for TikTok. That's a
go.
5 million viewer right there.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
What would
and it's
bail
great
me?
advertising for you. You're like, we booked a $49 ticket to see if we could get this through the pre-check, and it's just us going through TSA, getting
See,
on the plane,
Our
flying to
luck,
Fort
we
Lauderdale.
would get through, and then it's actually a violation of some obscure law. Then
Yeah.
we get charged.
Put your parallegle on it first before we
There
do
we
it.
go. That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
that's what you
We
do,
don't want
right?
him
You just
detained.
direct them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might get detained.
You
You
do-
know, when I just got back from Panama, and I got put through the security check. I got the extra, and the girl was definitely
On the
giving-
way out of America or back in?
Not through American TSA.
Okay.
It was Panama. She worked
Oh.
at security there. Because I flew into
That's
Panama City and then had to take a
interesting.
small flight domestic.
I had a
Not-
similar
not
experience
Florida,
at Panama
Matt.
City
And she
Beach.
did
Florida.
this, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, ooh, and I was like,
Dude, I swear, like, especially third world countries or quasi third world, I feel like when you go through there, it's like they're just flexing their muscles, like, oh, Americans, you know. I mean, when I
Do you think she was illegally profiled?
no, yeah,
We have an
absolutely.
attorney here. He can.
Oh,
You can sue the whole
absolutely,
country,
dude.
right?
no, it was just like,
No.
Can you-
it was like when you
Okay.
get chosen for that extra screen.
Yeah.
I will cite in June of last year when I flew to Iraq,
Mm.
when we went through the whole
Are you able to discuss
inspection,
this? Is the agency
yeah, this
giving you
part, yeah,
clearance?
shh,
Okay.
quiet. When like we're going through the checkpoint as you're leaving the terminal, and dude, they had us open all of our bags, empty everything, and like, you know, local people or people that would look like indigenous to northern Iraq, they were just kind of like passing them through.
You don't think it could have had anything to do with how you and the group that you were traveling with were dressed, what you were carrying? Do you have
What
the
you
picture
look like.
available of all of you that you can?
No,
They have like the
Sit-
black boxes over their faces.
No, they all look like freaking tier one operators.
Well, yeah,
like they,
we did post this picture.
they
and
all
two
went
of them were
flannel and
blacked
whatever
out.
these pants are that Matt wears.
No,
and beards.
I-
and
Combat camera.
Wiley
baby.
X, Wiley X sunglasses.
Is this combat apparel?
Truth be told, all
Combat
of them
apparel?
probably were
Yes, this
at
is-
some
that's
point.
Yeah, right.
And then
Yeah,
there's Matt.
it's made for combat.
Just a door kicker. I
Yeah,
love it.
exactly. I love it. Yeah, no, this is a top-notch business card right there.
Appreciate
I'm
you.
going to keep that with me forever.
Love And
and-
tell me, you guys do marketing. Tell me what you think. I strategically did not put my number on here so that they would have to Google me and I get more traffic from Google.
Okay.
I don't know.
I would. So the way I thought about this was like, I think this is a great way to advertise for DUI cases.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you put this at bars and people will slide it in their wallets and whatnot, and it's always there. So if I'm getting arrested or pulled over and I'm going into my wallet, I want to know who my first call is
I like that too.
when I get into the slammer.
Oh, he's licensed in 3 states, you guys.
Yes.
pretty
He is.
good.
Yeah, here it is.
Extra-
This.
Don't
Oh.
do that.
Okay, blur out the
No,
voice
but
to
no,
take
for
it.
see
these,
what you
for
boys look
these
like.
people.
See,
You silly
it's
man.
on you. It's been posted on social
You
media.
know, all of you have
Not all those
facial
people.
hair.
That photo hasn't.
No.
Full facial
Are you
hair.
sure?
No,
I
it
think
has
it's this
with two
guy
of the
right here.
faces
He-
blurred out.
He definitely got you
No.
flagged.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Sorry,
Matt's
everybody.
Grim face.
We were absolutely going to share the photo, but
Slugs,
Matt
snug
still
nuts.
thinks
Matt, do
the
you have red
information
hair?
is far too
You got a
sensitive.
red
Do I
beard.
red?
You have a
Oh,
red
yeah.
beard. I like
Yeah,
it.
blood red.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's the Norse. It's the Norseman blood in him.
It reeks of whiskey.
All right, hey
All right,
Matt.
so have these hit the street?
No,
These are the first two I just gave out, so
Oh wow.
there'll be more to come.
that's the level. That's the level that we in this room rise to. is
Have
that
any, so that's
Brandon
my first
took
order.
He's just getting
from-
feedback. I see.
That's
you.
right.
Yeah,
I see.
R&D.
That was my
Smart.
first
Beta
order
phase.
from Alibaba. Have you guys ever ordered anything from that?
I
It's
no,
interesting.
but
Makes
I
me
bought
uncomfortable
shares.
given the current
Did
state
you?
of
Yeah.
affairs
Yeah.
around the world.
Dude,
I
it
felt
came-
weird about it when I did it too. I
The
was like,
package
on
came
stock.
just messed up and taped, and I was telling somebody about it. One of my attorney this morning in court, and he was like, "Dude, they probably thought there was like fentanyl or something in there." And I bet they opened it up when they got here. I was like, "You're freaking right." They
Did it look shady like that? Was it
Oh.
totally janky package?
Yeah, just a box
Yeah.
going to a lawyer from
Yeah.
China. You know.
There's either a severed hand or
Right.
something illicit.
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
right. That's
Oh
right.
my gosh. Well, if it was anthrax, you had 8 rounds of anthrax, vaccines too as well. Which I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna be fine in our 60s.
I didn't
from all
finish
that.
my smallpox one.
No,
No.
I got
What do you mean
smallpox and
finish
I
it?
think 6 of anthrax.
There's like a booster you have to do at some point.
The one that they did under the forehead? Like, because I remember when I got
No,
into
smallpox
Iraq,
is
smallpox
No,
and
no, I
a
know.
little tappy.
We did once there, and they did, for whatever reason, this is February of 03 in Kuwait. They did something on our foreheads.
Anybody
too.
else that was in the United States military in 2003, if
That
you
can
could please
validate
write
that Matt
in
was serving.
and confirm this. Otherwise, this is further proof that Matt is a Chechen implant. He's not a U.S. citizen. Somewhere in the invasion of Iraq, he got slipped
Just
in there.
slipped in.
And he just,
No, this was 9/11.
It could have been-
It started on 9/11. I
Yeah.
was in South America.
I think you're like having a splinter cell moment with some of your Chechen brain cells where they gave you a vaccine in your forehead.
Yeah.
Which is what you are alleging.
Dude, I swear, I swear I remember.
Do you have a
this.
scar on your forehead?
I do have a scar on my a pretty gnarly one.
What if-
Valentine's Day of 1985.
No, I meant
this
from
happened.
the. I meant.
Yeah.
I meant
Oh,
from
no.
the.
No, not
No.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Dude, now I'm freaking out because
I'm sorry,
I
bud.
might be totally making this
You
up.
could be totally making it up, and that's
Maybe I had a dream.
and
about
that's
it.
why
I don't
you're
know.
that's why you're mad.
You
dog
know what
my
it
life.
was? No. I know what it is. because remember how it was contaminated air, you couldn't touch it.
Mhm.
Somebody touched it. I remember in my platoon and like scratched his forehead and therefore transferred it to another infected
no.
site. That's what it was, and it got all like blistered up, and that's I think what it was.
That
And
was
there's
quite a
interesting.
leap that you made, though, in that memory.
Like
there.
the government, like
Yeah.
scarred you on purpose.
It was a very volatile time.
You know what? He slept a couple times
He
since
did.
then. Let's
Yeah,
give him the
he
benefit of the
did.
doubt.
You, how many times you've been concussed?
I think that's a question you can't ask.
Yeah,
somebody
I know.
who's been
Yeah,
concussed
well, that's why I
multiple
said
No,
it.
I would
so-
say 5-6 times.
Yeah.
Half the time was skateboarding, one football,
That was an amazing tight end.
one was trying to do a flip off the swing.
So 6 dumb things.
Yeah. And then like probably at least one, maybe 2 snowboarding or
So-
skiing, snowboarding and skiing.
So all your concussions are self-inflicted.
No, except football. I had one football.
I mean, you were playing football. You
You
kinda-
assume the risk, voluntary assumption of risk from
Yeah.
a legal standpoint.
I will say, and he's out there somewhere, but Ontario Smith is the one that did it to me.
Is
and
he?
he went on to play professional football.
Did he?
He played at Oregon and then I think played for Minnesota and then got kicked out because he was like smoking weed or something, which would align with part of what we want to talk
What a
about.
segue.
What
What
a
a
segue.
segue. You're a media
expert.
expert. You've been in media on TV for a while. Have you ever seen anything as neat and flawless and tucked away as what that was right
No.
there?
6
What a
degrees from
professional.
Ontario
Oh.
Smith.
What a
He's obviously
professional.
done this
He's done this
a
before.
couple
good for you.
seasons, but that was
He's-
smooth.
He's done this before.
That
All
was
right.
smooth.
That would so did you feel that was an acceptable amount of grab ass time, as you like to put it?
Well, it's not. It never officially ends.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay.
I just.
I
Now,
just
now
wanna
we
know
can
for my
integrate
own-
it to the content and the themes.
My own edification, and for the people who have been following along for a long time, Matt gets very mad at me when I go straight into interview.
Keep
He
your
gets
edificals to
very,
yourself.
very mad at me. And he must have told me at least 2 or 3 times today and 20 times in the last 3 weeks. Dude, if we're going to relaunch the show, we got to get back to the nucleus of what made it awesome.
What our DNA
which
was.
is just
That's an
Right.
amazing. That's an amazing.
Is that a good
impersonation.
Matt?
Yeah.
I've been working on it for a while.
Okay, so for everybody that commented, at least to me,
No.
or in person,
Nobody
that's
support Matt.
comment.
No, buddy. I'm glad we're doing your grab ass thing again.
Yeah,
I
me
missed
too.
it too.
Yeah, it's
So-
fun. It kind of lightens the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
Gets y'all like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
feeling
like that,
comfortable.
too.
And then when the round table really opens up,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then it's like, Christina, what do you make of the situation in the Ukraine?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, Christina, how much do you make per year?
Oh yeah, the real hard hitting.
What do you really
make?
How do you sexually
what do
identify?
you do again?
We should talk about some tax liability at some point. Some organizational structure. Maybe not today. Maybe
Oh
a
my
future
God.
episode, teasing people for the future.
Well,
Dude,
it
you
is
know what,
tax
like-
season.
It is. I like
I have
getting into
very
hardcore
little.
business stuff.
I would not say tax is one
Yeah,
of
I
my
would
not.
strong suits. I wouldn't come to me.
Yeah.
If you need
I
to
wouldn't
sue
come to
somebody,
me.
come to me.
Yeah.
If you get a DUI, come to me. But
Actually,
taxes, probably not.
Let's tell that. We'll tell that another time. I want to talk about SB 711 because Matt did the segue, and I don't want to take away from his segue. 15 minutes of cannabis talk. You ready?
Yeah, no
Right.
limitations.
No
just-
limitations.
it could be
At
tax.
least
Yeah, I feel like
15
you're. I
minutes
feel
of
like you're
cannabis
trying to
talk.
put a bubble around this.
Well,
too much.
TK
Let
said
him-
we
let
had to
him
be done
live.
at 3:30, and Matt's verbose.
I appreciate that observation.
All right, you're right. See, that's why we needed a third,
Right,
because that's exactly the kind of stuff that Evan would do.
correct.
All right, SB 711. We've been working on it for 3 years. What year is it? 2023.
Yeah, so 2020.
So SB 711 is the medical cannabis bill. It would allow access to about 330,000 patients in North Carolina that have 10 or 12. I think we were debating how many, the number of like
Medical conditions.
medical conditions it would cover. I have a new viewpoint on it that I'll share in a little bit. But before we kind of get into where we're at with the bill, Christina, can you give people just like tell them about your background and all the study that you've put into becoming a medical cannabis expert?
Yeah, so I just got my master's in medical cannabis, science and business. But I went into that because I was working in the CBD industry, and I have a CBD company and working with children with epilepsy, mainly formulating for them. I really wanted a platform and really wanted to understand the science. So that's when I got my education. But that's something that I'm super passionate about. I was actually, when we met, involved a little bit with 7-Eleven, just trying to keep up with it because it's so important for our state. People don't even realize, what this could mean for a lot of people who want to use alternative forms of medicine.
Let's start with the PTSD conversation, because you have 3 Marine veterans. Your father was a veteran, correct? Army, did you tell me?
Army.
Yep, Army veteran. And so you have seen it firsthand of somebody who suffers from what a lot of people in the military, I would probably say that most people that are getting out of the military now are filing some kind of PTSD claim.
Yeah.
It went from like never talked about to so in the mainstream right now. And that's a good thing. So from your perspective and also your education, what is the medical efficacy of medical cannabis as it relates to treating PTSD as a condition?
Well, wow, there's so much we can talk about around that, because like mental health, I think, is a huge topic in our country that doesn't get talked about. So you can talk about because you are veterans that have come back and have PTSD, but that's like anxiety, that's insomnia, that's a trauma that happened to you, right? PTSD is when a trauma happens, and there's so many traumas that a veteran can experience and does experience, and then they come back and they're just put right back into civilian life with no medical care. There's no mental health. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, how do you deal with all the things that you're dealing with in a healthy way? Is the answer pharmaceuticals? And I know a lot of veterans don't even, go for mental health, so they want to self-medicate. And cannabis is actually one of the most illicitly used, I'm going to call it a drug, but medications. Plant medicines.
Yeah, it's
being used by veterans.
Organic. I thought that was a good word.
That's the one thing is like, maybe you could talk about this, Brandon, because I know you're tied into this stuff. Like the semantics that are played with it, to where, like, how do we know exactly, like, marijuana is a total slang word. It was introduced as propaganda in the 30s because the hemp industry was booming. And there was polyester was invented, and they're like, hey, we need to switch from hemp, which was our number 1 agricultural product in the U.S. up until the 30s. Look it up. It's on Google. And then pivoting hard to doing something totally different. And that's when you started to see reefer madness and just like dare to keep kids off drug campaign, and cannabis or marijuana is a gateway drug. You're going to be in a ditch. Yeah. Dead of heroin if you smoke that one joint, kid. I remember all of the stuff that they put together. The truth is, some of that is probably somewhere in the middle, not nearly as far to the left or to the right of where either, where it's been viewed or it's been talked about. But like, talk about the stigma behind it, like of people saying, "Hey, I use cannabis to treat X, Y, Z."
Yeah.
How prevalent is that?
Oh, it's huge. And we actually had a whole discussion in one of my cannabis courses about that. It was cannabis medicine, because that's one of the reasons that people are afraid. They're afraid of the stigma, right, of telling their doctor that they do use it. So they don't tell them, which can, if they're taking other medications, there could be interactions. But yeah, people are afraid, right, because you can get your kids taken away. They're, parents that have tried to use cannabis to treat their kids' medical conditions and reported to social services and try to have their kids taken away. Or kids that go to school and say their parents use it. So much discrimination, because of it, like in the workplace, right, with drug testing and et cetera. So
give us a legal opinion on it, Brandon. Like, it feels like what's in the mainstream and what society says and wants versus what's like allowed, whether it's in state or federal law, are in conflict of each other.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem right now is that it's a Schedule 1 controlled substance. Schedule 1 is where it has no medical value.
Federally.
Federally,
right.
Federal. So on the federal level, which has implications at the state level. Colorado had to figure out how they were going to, store money. They banked with it. It can't be with a national, or I guess, what is it, the Federal Reserve can't back it or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's still a problem.
It's still a problem, which is why if you go to a dispensary in like one of these legal states, they are a cash business, and they have to have a ton of security because they're not able to take wire funds. Because technically, if they did, then they would be committing some sort of a federal crime.
Right.
Yeah.
So, leaving, not even the politics of it, I think most of the country agrees that it should be at least decriminalized. The last administration took some steps towards, not decriminalize it, but pardoning some individuals that were, in prison for some sort of marijuana-related crime.
Nonviolent.
This administration has said, we're all on board, but they haven't done anything. And
Yeah.
so, you know, just
Get
taking
out.
just taking it off the schedule one, you know, would allow the states more latitude in doing these, because part of the reason why it's had so much trouble getting through like clinical trials is that it's a Schedule I controlled substance, and so unless it's legal in your state,
Right.
you can't bring it in because then you're committing a federal crime.
Yeah, and that's why there's so much limited research out there, because it's so hard. There was
Yeah.
only one U.S. approved grow facility in the U.S. up until last year.
None of the, like, our FDA hasn't done any research on it too. I think which is part of the problem, or they have, but every time it's not workable, I guess, from a clinical standpoint, because we have it scheduled as a class 1 drug, where places like Canada and Israel that are actually getting like good data, and I don't mean good in that it lends to a narrative for or against, but like we can actually study it from a scientific standpoint. We don't take any of that stuff into consideration because we look at it the way that we do, with it being a scheduled class 1 substance.
If you look at it from the perspective of marijuana is a Schedule I drug, and methamphetamine or amphetamines and fentanyl are 2 and 3,
Mhm.
it's like you're telling me that those have more methamphetamine has more value than marijuana?
Yeah.
Like who cares? It's a
Well,
plant.
you got to go back to why it was even outlawed in the first place, right? It was all propaganda for people who wanted to get rich, and it was, going to encroach on their money, and they made a mission and propaganda to make it, that's when cannabis got changed to marijuana, because nobody knew what that was. Then nobody really knew that's what the same plant they were talking about, so they sort of confused people by that. But it's one of the oldest plants in the pharmacopoeia, being used for therapeutic medicine.
Yeah, and most district attorneys around the country are not prosecuting these crimes. I mean, they're doing some sort of a deferred prosecution, or you do some community service and it gets dropped. But you got to think, I deal with these all the time, and so if they're if officers making the arrest, you got to pay. You're paying for the time of a DA, an assistant DA, their assistant, a defense attorney, the court's time, and doing all this. Yeah, it gets dismissed at the end of the day, but how many thousands of dollars go into this process?
Right.
It's a huge waste of money and time when we have a judicial system that's backed up, and people would say is broken as it is, and we're peddling these petty crimes. And it's just a waste of time.
Was it ever? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
So I'll tap into what you're just saying about like the exhaustive cost that it is financially, because when I was a cop, I mean, the last couple of years I was there on the SWAT team, harvest season, August through October in Northern California. Like, we'd hit one grow in one day up at 8,000 feet in the Sierras on a mountainside, and then our team would proceed to chop down. We'd take into custody whoever we could, but cut down 10, 15,000 trees in one day, and then we'd have to hoist them out with helicopters. Millions of dollars of operations, but at the same time, it's legal in the state. So it's like the taxpayers in the state of California are still contributing, probably hundreds of millions of dollars to narcotic enforcement, specifically for cannabis. And now all it is a tax loophole that they get around.
Yeah.
And it's just atrocious to know that the government is choosing to allocate their assets for.
And that's never going to go away. I mean, they still crack down on people illegally making alcohol. They're always going to regulate it that way. But the problem is, in states like North Carolina, officers on the street are still making arrests, or at least issuing citations for simple possession of marijuana and paraphernalia. It's stupid.
It's
But
weak.
it's decriminalized in North Carolina, so you can possess up to an ounce.
No, it's still a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
It's still a misdemeanor.
Yeah, and that was part of what like the discussion was for SB 711 too, was that if we're going to have a medical law, that what should follow from that is decriminalization. And I think, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk about, was what I feel is like the useful politicization of the veteran community in our state and in our country. But that everybody on the right side of the aisle is saying, oh, it's camel's nose under the tent, right? If we pass medical, recreation is going to follow, and then we're going to look like all the fruits and nuts in Colorado.
Yeah, there's
and
no
California.
research supporting that it's the efficacy, and because that's what the state legislatures on the right side were arguing just recently.
Yeah.
There's not enough research, and I'm like, what?
There's tons of research, and I would say this: one thing that I feel like has been a useful contribution of my time in SB 711 is I've seen a lot of people, more on the right than on the left, because I think the left was already ready for it. On the right go, I didn't know, my opinion on this has changed. So there's a lot of open-mindedness up there in Raleigh, but it still feels, and I would go like, to look at like the PACT Act that recently finally got passed, and some of these other wins that the veteran community has banded behind and got done. But I feel the political class is trying to spike the ball like they're the ones who are the winners in it all. And it feels like it's an on and off switch. Like I've gotten so, just behind the scenes, I've gotten so disenfranchised with the
Great word.
political system in all of this, because it's like, hey, we need you.
Welcome.
And then you're not going to hear from me for 10 or 11 months. Come up here, meet with these people, closed door meetings, do press conferences, do all this lobbying and stuff, and leave your family, leave your business. I'll call you in 11 months when I need you to come do it again. It's like, are we a necessary contributor and member of society, or do we just need to be on the sidelines until the big people call us
up? If you had a $10
up?
million donation, they would certainly take your calls more often.
Is that what it is?
I mean,
Follow the dollars?
our system is stupid. I mean, you run in perpetuity, and you are always campaigning because every 2 years you come up for re-election, so you always got to be raising money. Makes no sense to me. I mean, they don't have time to do bills. They don't have time to write new legislation because they're out trying to get money because they want to keep their job. And oh, by the way, our state senators and congressmen make $14,000 a year.
Yeah, they don't make any money. They don't make any
There's
money.
no incentive to do it. And so the people that want to do it are doing it because they want power. They want that little bit of control, in my opinion, for the most part. There's good guys out there.
When are you going to run? That's what I want to know. Never for me either.
He's too pure.
We have one person in our community that I think we could push to run for some kind of elected.
Who?
He sits in the office across the hall.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's just no ROI for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Everyone here does,
I love
we do
Brandon.
things in our community and our veteran community, families, all these things. And so to me, I want to make a difference where it matters, and that's local.
Yeah.
And I've been telling people for years to stop worrying about national politics and worry about, and the whole COVID thing kind of helped people open up their eyes. But it's like, what your city council, what your county council, what your town council, what your mayor, what your governor, what they're doing is going to affect your lives more than what they're doing in up on Capitol Hill. And so you need to understand that, because if I ask most people, I said, who's your state representative? I bet 99% of people would be like, oh, I have no idea.
And you're saying COVID like incubated that?
I'm saying I think COVID made people realize that was more important,
Right?
in a certain sense, because they're like, oh, Gavin Newsom just said no dining, but he's inside a restaurant dining. You know what I mean? Like that whole big debacle that happened.
Yeah.
I thought we're not allowed to say certain names. No,
We can say whatever we want.
Christina, I'm sorry I cut you off.
I was
What
going
were
to
you
say, do you feel like people are less likely to vote in those local elections and more likely in a federal election?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the midterm elections, because it's an off cycle, there is a notable difference in the amount of people that turn out.
And those are the ones you're saying are most important.
Yeah, because typically, that's when the state and county elections get put into those off cycles. And so most people don't show up, or they straight ticket vote, because we have such a team mentality that I think is the dumbest thing ever. You should vote on your issues, not on somebody's ideology. That's not yours.
George Carlin said that best. We have this whole what did he say? We think we have personal choice, but we don't. There's only 2 political parties. There's like 6 insurance companies. Yep. There's only 1 Port City attorney. I'm choosing him when I need to. Yeah, it's an illusion that we have freedom of choice when it comes down to politics specifically, because it does. It's never about issue. It's always about party. Yeah. For most people. I'm hoping that more people are gravitating towards what you just said, Brandon. Like, let me sit in the middle and go, those guys are giant douches and those guys are turd sandwiches, but what are they saying that is going to affect my life? Yeah. Like right here at my local community level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I don't think that anybody that is on too far of one side or the other is actually thinking rationally.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all dealt with, or the 3 of us have dealt with, extremists in other part of the world. And once you start putting that extremist label on somebody, they're no longer thinking rationally. They're trying to, rationalize their thinking.
Mm. Damn, did they teach you that at law school?
I just made that up.
Damn.
It's good. Wait, before we move on though, what do you think about? What are your guys' opinions on voting online? Like just being able to vote
I
from
think
your
that
computer.
just opens the door to.
Do you want
more
to keep it in
issues.
person?
I'm old fashioned.
You
Yeah.
like it in person?
I'm old fashioned.
debatable.
I want to show up on election day, wait in that line with all
I
those
think you
other
should get a
pissed
blood
off
prick,
people.
to be honest with you.
I want my sticker. I want my
Kidding.
sticker so I
Can
can
we
put
get
it on Instagram.
We need to upgrade the sticker though.
Yeah.
You guys don't think that it's going to end up being
Of
like
course
American
it will.
Idol? Like
Cour-
text in
of
your
course it
vote.
will. Yeah,
Like,
of course
that's
it
a
will.
There
lot
are
of
Dude.
some
shit.
states
Yeah.
that actually implemented that now since post-COVID.
Really?
That's why I asked, because post-COVID, that
Please
was
tell
just
me
me.
that's not coffee.
The
No,
cyn-
that was my phone. I
the
don't know, I
cynic
drop
in
it
me
all the
says
time.
everything is going to turn out exactly how I don't want it, and then the realist in me says I don't care. I'm just going to build my chicken coop in Castle Hayne and chill over there. But I do think we're going to go to some kind of ranked choice. I mean, Alaska, you saw the ranked choice voting system that they put in, which makes no sense to me at all whatsoever. I just don't understand it. I'm not saying that they didn't put any thought into it. I don't get it. We'll probably get to something like that.
Here's a
at some
really
point.
politically charged question.
Yes.
Cool Ranch or nacho cheese?
Dude, you got to put the two together. You got to eat a
Well, no.
nacho
No, no,
cheese
no, no,
and
no,
a
You
no,
can't.
Cool
no,
Ranch
no,
You got to make a
together.
choice. I'm sorry. Gun to your head.
No.
Gun to your head? You don't come to your counselor
I,
with a
I would have to
metaphorical
defer
gun
to
to your
nacho
head.
cheese because
Nacho
that would
cheese?
just
Nacho
be
cheese.
original.
Cool Ranch. I like the tanginess,
What are we
man.
eating it with?
Nothing.
Not
Just
with
a chip.
water.
Raw
Like
dog.
oxygen.
You're just like at the gas station. There's two choices. You're like, I need a chip.
Wait, are we
What
at
is your
Circle K?
choice?
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Okay. You gotta go nacho cheese.
Yeah,
Nacho
really?
cheese.
3 nacho cheese to 1 Cool Ranch.
Well, there's
Man.
3 right answers.
Well, you're the
Yeah.
choice. You're the choice of the new generation.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm
chosen
older
one.
than Brandon, though.
You
Not by
are?
much. Yeah, what are you, 32?
33.
33?
34 this year.
I'll be 38
What?
next month. Yeah. I
You're
got
38.
I got
Anyways.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I like
dude.
that tie, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovely
So
tie.
do you think 7-Eleven gets done? Final word on the topic. You think 7-Eleven gets done this legislative session?
I hope it does. The 3 of us spoke with one of the local representatives who was pushing that, and and he is, he's not sure. There's a lot of, like you said, with the old Republican Party that basically just, like, what did he say? He was like, we just got alcohol, pushed from 10 to, or 11
Yeah.
to 10 or something
Yeah.
like that. So like that took so long. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
hope.
but there's 45 states that have passed cannabis legalization in some way.
Yeah.
And
I
we're not
wanted
one
to.
of them.
No.
I'm
we're-
a skeptic. I'm I'm cynic. I'm a cynical guy. I would love for it to be passed. It would do a lot of good. As like you said, somebody that has has my own mental health issues. I think that would be, everybody. We should be open about mental health
Yeah.
issues. I think the more open we get, the more we can explore the different options there are for treating that, and it's not always pharmaceuticals.
No, it's definitely not always pharmaceuticals.
Heaven no.
And it's not alcohol either.
No.
Absolutely, and that's the worst drug out there.
Alcohol's
and it's
worse,
legal.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a legal drug that's controlled, and North Carolina is controlled by the state. We have an ABC.
Yeah.
The ABC is controlled by the state, and we allow that to purvey. Why not?
And I always like to bring this up. You're a probation officer?
Before, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
before. I will tell you a ratio of how many times I got dispatched to an incident where alcohol was involved and was negatively affecting the situation. And then I can tell you the amount of times that I got dispatched to an incident where marijuana was involved and it negatively contributed to the situation. Alcohol was, I would say, 75% of the time, like on like an after 9 p.m. call would involve alcohol. How many problems resulted from marijuana? The only problems that ever resulted from marijuana was when kids took it to school and the school administration was calling the sheriff's office.
That or a drug deal gone bad.
Yeah.
And either way, both those things.
So
get
you
cleared up.
never had a
How many fatal accidents
there was
resulted from
there was
drunk
never
people?
you never made an arrest or never responded to a call because of an issue of consumption?
Correct.
Yeah.
Or it
altered
negatively
behavior.
Correct.
Yeah.
Are they getting violent? Like you got your
What about
violent
that-
drugs.
What about that one police chief that like him and his wife ate it, and there's like the 911 call, like we're dying. They took edibles, and they're like we're sad, we're
When was
dying.
this?
It was a while back.
We gotta
It was
find it on
hilarious.
What
YouTube.
Yeah,
state
I
was
don't know
it?
if it was a
Remember?
police
I
chief,
can't remember.
but it was definitely a guy. And
No,
Uh,
it was the police chief.
was
I'm
the
pretty
police
sure.
chief.
I'm like
Okay.
pretty
I
sure.
hope that somebody took that and
It was
like
his
put,
last day in office. He was like,
Yeah, put like a cartoon graphics over it. I'll watch that stuff on YouTube all
Yes,
day long, where people are
100%.
super high and it's just like a cartoon that goes along wrong with their 911 call or something. It kills me. It kills me every time. Christina, do you think we get SB 711 done this legislative session?
You know, I'm going to be optimistic.
Okay.
I'm going to say yeah.
Okay.
I think it's time.
What are you basing the rationality of your
Well,
rationale?
it is.
That's the
This
word.
bill has been in play for a while.
Yeah. Ooh,
What?
Zoe?
Hashtag what?
Yeah, I said Deschanel.
Matt loves Zoe
He said
Deschanel.
Rochelle. I'm sorry. I
Deschanel.
interrupted her again.
No,
Dang
it's
it.
all good. Yeah, this bill has been in play for a long time. Lots of discussions, different committees. Currently is in the House, right? So the holdup's there. It's already passed through the Senate. Got to go to the House and then to the governor. So
Yeah.
I think their goal last year was to iron this stuff out so we can streamline it straight to the governor. I don't know. You talked
Man,
to
that made me
the
so angry because it
senator
was
yesterday.
You know, well, when last year it was like they had probably a 6-week window where they could have got it done and kind of stalled it out because it was a election cycle.
Yeah, I know.
And guys wanted to get back to their communities and campaign. It's like it's right here, y'all.
It's full circle, baby.
It's
That's what I was talking about. If they weren't busy trying to raise money, then they could be passing meaningful legislation.
Dude, and I do empathize with what you say, Brandon. They shovel a lot of crap and work really hard for no financial incentive at all whatsoever. And so that only leads me to believe that the motivator is then to do good and meaningful work in your community.
Boom.
But I'm more benevolent in that area than I think some people might be because the other side to that is power.
I'm a cynical lawyer. So.
Yeah, I love that about you. Because I'm cynical. I want to be more cynical because I always Jenna calls me a golden retriever because I'm just like, oh, you're kind of awesome.
Oh, it looks way better when I watch the dynamic between you and your dad.
Yeah, Jen gets me hard.
No,
on
your
it,
dad,
man.
not your.
Oh, dad? Oh, yeah, because my dad is he hates everybody immediately.
Rob goes to parade rest half the time.
I do.
when
He's been
shows
calling
up.
Matt Mark for 4 years just to let him know that he still has the upper hand.
I
He
love
knows
the
his name is
disrespect. Yeah,
Matt.
that's
He
great.
knows his name is Matt, but he's like, hey, what's up, Mark?
And then you just won't correct him, and he knows it.
Oh
he knows
no,
where
it's
he
like
stands.
not much, sir. How are you?
My dad has rank on. So my dad's retired Marine Corps officer too as well. So
Okay,
it's been like this my entire life, Christina. All my friends.
I'm at the point now where I call him Marlon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Wow,
What do they have to call him?
sir.
Sir.
Always,
Wow.
always it was sir.
I got
Miss-
2 questions for you. What do you think about the term "cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey"?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's another
Anyways,
story.
we digress. We'll do an entire episode on Arlen coming up soon. Matt, your final thoughts on SB 711? Does it get done? Yes or no?
I'm gonna side with her.
Okay.
Which being very optimistic. So I'm basically saying Philly's gonna win on Sunday because they're not.
They're gonna run the dilly
Boom.
dilly, the Philly
Yeah,
Philly
that's
special
right.
again.
Mahomes is gonna freaking run all over him. I elect that it would pass this year. And can I have just a quick
course,
another
please,
parting word?
Yeah, you have to say why.
Shout out to Live Oak Pavilion because this spring, Dave Matthews Band is coming to Wilmington. But the most important is Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah. Matt wanted to use a conversation about cannabis to say that Dave Matthews Band is coming to Wilmington.
Hey, that's a big step, Wilmington. I'm stoked.
Can you get us front row tickets, please?
We're gonna take the boats out. We're gonna go boat.
Yeah,
we're gonna
we're
boat
gonna
on the
go
river.
boats.
Everybody's welcome to come.
Can we do
We'll
that
tie
for
up.
Tyler Killers too?
Yes, we
'Cause
can do
tickets
it
sold
for
way
Incubus.
quick.
We can do it for Revolution.
Incubus.
Yeah, Live
Dude, that
Nation,
Revolution
please.
Iration
Chili
show,
peppers. That's the
elevators.
ultimate to get chili peppers. So
Okay, you heard it.
Live Nation.
Hunley, make it happen. Okay, you think it gets done, Brandon?
7-Eleven. Yeah.
You think no? I'm gonna go.
I want it done. It's
I
not
want
because I
that.
don't want it done, but I just
Because you're a
I'm
legal
cynical.
expert or something?
I'm gonna go wishful. I'm gonna go wishful thinking, and I'm gonna say Mike Lee, Bill Rabin. They got enough juice to get it done.
Let's
But-
go.
I'm gonna say it.
But you
happens.
are the king of wishful thinking.
I am the king of wishful thinking. Okay, should we talk about the balloon or how Brandon almost broke my back recently?
There needs to be context behind that.
Yeah, let's go with the balloon. So we had a conversation about the Chinese balloon. Matt, what is your feeling on the balloon from China?
I think it was an intelligence gathering vessel.
I think they really squandered an opportunity to make that balloon look like the one out of the Wizard of Oz.
That would have been amazing.
If they really wanted to go viral, they would have had that balloon look like the balloon from the Wizard of Oz, and none of us would have batted an eye at it. We'd all been out taking selfies with it, and they could have gathered
They
intelligence
could have at
for
least thrown
years.
some like authentic Hong Kong or Shanghai egg rolls and just slowly sprinkled it as it's like, hey, we appreciate you taking a sting out of it, huh?
Right?
They're just
Like,
sending,
thank you for your information. Here's some egg rolls for you.
just sending some quality, actual, legit Chinese.
Don't
food.
mind us. We're just checking the weather.
Wasn't that was a funny response, right? That it was
Oh
just a
my
weather
God.
balloon.
Yeah.
Did anybody buy that for a second?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, the Chinese people officially.
Yeah.
The CCP said it. It's
They
like,
don't. Well, they probably don't even know
No,
that a
they
balloon
don't
passed
believe it.
over 27 continental sovereign United States. They probably didn't even. That probably didn't even make the news in China.
That's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never spent any time in China,
Yeah, not
but I have in Bangkok and Vietnam.
Did you get to go anywhere fun in the Marine Corps, Brandon?
That was not in the Marine Corps.
Oh, that's
was,
right, Matt.
That was grad
MBA
school.
program.
You're so cool.
He's so cool.
Aw.
He takes every opportunity to be like, yeah, I went and studied in West Pacific.
I
Well,
fought wild monkeys.
yeah.
Trying to steal
Yeah,
my
well, I was
stuff.
on my MBA program, travel abroad, no big deal.
Smoked hookah, ate fresh paw every day.
It's the nucleus, it's like the nectar of my MBA program was to go learn about other cultures, and so we went to Thailand.
Anyways. I love that. That was so good.
I'm still working on my MyLab. All right, we talked about the Chinese balloon. Any thoughts past that?
The best video out there, hands down, was the Myrtle Beach guys.
I missed the
yeah.
Myrtle Beach one.
It was good.
Oh, it was like they were just like, oh,
The cops? Oh,
he just shot it. Oh, he got him. Oh, he got it.
Sounds like Myrtle.
So good. That's so good.
All right, now let's go to Wings to get some t-shirts.
Oh, you see that? Yeah, I see that. Oh, I got it. And they're like, I got it.
Actually, I should have sent this out to all of you ahead of time because a friend of the show and somebody we've done work with, I know that you know him for sure. He sent me, I can't say. Well, they'll read the lips. Well, I'll tell you after the show.
Roger.
He's in Gastonia area, North Carolina, and there was a police bulletin that said from Gastonia Police on their Twitter, please don't shoot at the balloon. I got a text message from him an hour earlier than I saw the tweet. I saw the tweet. He didn't send me the tweet of him recording him with an AR-15 trying to shoot at the balloon.
What was the balloon for?
Huh? The Chinese spy balloon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the conversation.
Yeah, this must have been from your forehead vaccine,
How was
right?
your-
This
how
is
was
an
your trip?
adverse.
It's
adverse.
hot in here.
It is
Rob took all
warm.
my water.
We gotta do
Here.
something. We gotta do something about the
Okay.
AC in here.
Take
No,
a look.
I really like talking to people in 90-degree weather.
Yeah,
That's great.
we're gonna figure some stuff out.
Is that
Well,
accurate? It says 90 degrees.
no, that can't be in here.
It's not
No.
90 degrees outside.
But you are a guy who turns up the heat in the courtroom.
Ooh.
He turns up the heat in my pants.
Yeah, he does.
Ooh.
Yeah, he does.
I think they were talking about your butt or something before you got
He's
here.
got a thick one.
Well, we
It's
all
really
do
not
He's
that.
got
thick.
he's got a Hemi in it.
We all do have that Marine thing.
What?
Just that thing.
The way we walk?
No, just the way we
The
are.
Murph-
The way
Just
we
the way
are.
we
Just
are.
that booty.
Just the way you are. All right, China
Space
balloon.
talking and everything.
We're done. Did you guys see the space rocket as it flew across the night sky?
Yeah,
a
a
few
couple
weeks
weeks
ago.
ago.
I did not.
Missed it.
I missed it. I wish I would
Dude,
have.
I thought I was in that John Travolta movie where I could move things with my fingers because I was losing.
yeah, I was
It-
too.
Good movie.
It was
We
a
were
good
on our way to
movie.
meet each other.
We were.
I was taking my daughter and her girlfriend to youth group, and I'm sitting at a stoplight in packed traffic, and the sun's going down, and I hear Ryan, my 14-year-old, in the back freaking out, which is constantly, so I gave it no attention. And all of a sudden, I look over to the left, thinking that like somebody next to us is doing something goofy, and in the sky, it was like it was 100 feet away. You could like just see the whole, and it was like the coolest thing
It was
I've
an
seen in
absolutely
Wilmington.
serene moment. I was on Independence approaching Randall. It was.
What lane
it-
were you in? Were you in the number one
I was in the
southbound?
number one southbound lane. Yes.
10-4.
Yes, officer. And Jen and I both see this thing moving, and we had no idea that it was happening. And Jenna's like, what is that? Oh, no. First, Jenna said it was cloud seeding. She's like, I can't believe that they're seeding the clouds with. And I'm like-
Jenna's a chemtrailer.
I'm
Is
like,
she really?
oh, yeah, big time. Big time.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. We're going to have her on in this next
Interesting.
reiteration.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
And we're going to ask her.
Well, no.
No,
he
that
didn't.
no, he didn't. That's an officer of the law right there. A sworn servant to the Constitution saying that Epstein didn't kill himself.
We all did.
Yeah.
To the Constitution.
Well,
at least,
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was, and I was like, no, Jen, that's not what that is. And I was like, that's a rocket. And then I called Matt, and he's like, dude, did you see the space
I was
rocket?
like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
it was so gnarly.
It was super cool. It was a cool moment. It was beautiful out because the sky was perfectly clear, sun was going down, space rocket flying across. And in that moment, you know what I said? I turned back and I looked at my girls and I said, America's back, baby.
Was it a SpaceX rocket?
Yeah. It was a Falcon.
I love that he
9,
sent a
10.
Tesla up there.
Dude,
Makes
you
me so
are an
happy.
Elon Musk guy, aren't you? You have a Tesla.
I love Elon.
Was that on your vision board to have a Tesla?
I've been wanting a Tesla for a very long time.
And you went and got it.
Yeah.
What
Good
color?
for you.
It's silver.
Sexy silver. That looks
White
like
interior,
not
black
off-
interior?
Black interior, black rims. You know, it's so I bought a used one because
'Cause
you
you're
know, I
sensible.
wasn't sure
You're
if it would work
sensible.
out. It's great. I
Do you have a
drive.
coexist
How much
sticker on the
value
back?
did they fluctuate?
It's not a ton. I mean, they're pretty well. That's a lie. So I mean, depending on the base models you get, obviously, they can, you know, there's performance ones and all that. But I've driven to Charlotte. I've driven to Raleigh. I drive, you know, to Onslow County for court and back, and go to Brunswick County. I've never had an issue.
What stickers do you have on the back?
No stickers. Keeping
What-
it sleek. Keeping it toit.
Okay.
Toit.
I would
It'd
be
be- it'd be-
concerned about
Like-
people
like
thinking
his hair?
I'm woke. Like,
Toit.
Now on the back he doesn't, but on the side he definitely has his TikTok handle, and on the other side it's the Instagram handle. 'Cause
I
those
thought
are-
about wrapping it just with my face.
he has a fake exhaust pipe, like a huge exhaust pipe.
No,
coming
you
out
need
from
this
it.
on there. Just
Yeah,
open
that's
a
true.
case
It's
with
a
us.
little
True.
Yeah,
the
that's it. Just
the
open a case.
Instagram handle on the side of a 2008 Honda Accord is probably my favorite thing in the world to see.
I don't think you can have
Follow
an
this
Instagram
car.
handle on
No,
your
I like
vehicle
it with the whip.
unless
Oh, yeah.
it's squatted, right? It
Yeah.
has to be squatted.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's literally it's the most like embarrassing. It's just it makes me like throw up inside and yet hysterically laugh at the same.
An episode for another day, my friend.
Yeah, I don't want to.
As somebody who's like an accidental influencer, it makes me very
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
was that intentional that you became
No.
you got to 500,000 people on TikTok?
No.
How did that happen? Was there just like one video that set it all off?
Yeah, you know, like I made a video, like my first video I ever made, like it ended up getting like a couple 100,000 views, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And it was like about chicken nuggets or something stupid. And then I made like a couple more that got decent views and started getting some followers. And then I had one video that just blew up, did like 13 million views, and then I got like a couple 100,000 followers from that. And just been progressing. Like I was looking at my views actually earlier for some reason. I don't ever do that, but I think I'm at almost 100 million views right now in 2 years.
I like it how he said that all nonchalant. I don't ever do that.
I don't.
Are your
I quit-
highest rating ones the ones where you have like a tank top on?
No, I don't thirst trap it, you know.
But you should.
I thought I've seen some videos because this man looks amazing.
No, I've
without
done
his shirt
some.
on.
Yeah, I've done some like jujitsu ones.
Yeah,
and-
the one you put up the other day of you at the tournament. Congratulations by the win,
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Thank you.
He you know pulled his belt off and his gi kind of opened up a little bit, and
It's
it
got
like
some bulbous extremities.
if I had
You
edited
flexed.
it, I would have slowed it way down right there and like put like a little whoosh noise into it or something, or like a little
Like a
golden
sizzle,
flare
like
filter or
freaking
something. It
embers.
was
Yeah.
it's all chest, man. All
That's what I'm going
chest.
for. I'm
I
going
know.
for, you know, that's what like
Surrounded by
people that work
alphas.
out, you know, they say that they do it to look good, but it's really to get compliments from guys. Like,
Yep.
Like Rob.
Exactly.
Well, sexy sells. you know?
Sexy
It
stuff.
does.
You should put the wrap on the car.
Got it. All right, I got input. We're good.
We'll storyboard it. We'll figure it out.
Storyboard it. Let's
We'll
go.
figure it out. All right, we got to go. It's 10 minutes till TK said we had to stop. Matt, any closing thoughts on just to recap your vaccination forehead vaccination?
I would like to redact that statement.
It
Please,
explains
from
a
the
lot.
record.
Yeah, so has been stricken from the record.
I knew something.
We're
was off
going to
about
tease
it.
you
But
mercilessly about it.
we
though, in the
did
future.
take live pigeons in theater to literally, I swear to God, every freaking unit when we invaded Iraq, we each had a little cage, wooden cage with a pigeon, and we used that as the litmus test for, oh man, have they sprayed that shit into the air?
Oh, is it that was your gas test?
Yeah.
Well,
But
that makes sense.
it does, but like how archaic.
A
It's
va- a
like
vaccination
really,
in the forehead
this is
makes way more
2003.
sense
Yeah.
than
Vaccination in the forehead.
Shut up, Richard.
Christina, thank you for joining us. We hope you'll come back again.
Of course.
I don't feel
Love
like
to.
we even hit the tip of the iceberg with you.
No, we didn't. And we didn't talk about bottle service.
Oh my gosh, save it. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
do
gonna
another
have to-
episode.
we're gonna have to save
Bottle
that for Monday.
service tactics.
I
What
was
the-
completely confused on that one. By the way.
What was the name of the place in Scottsdale? You said
The Bottled Blonde.
Bottled Blonde. If you're in Scottsdale, Arizona, or Phoenix area, and you know anything about the Bottled Blonde, email us. You could do it at production@signalfire.media. I want to know about this Bottled Blonde place because I think they probably have some abusive, unfair tactics that you might want to look into in terms of the pricing of their Tito's.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Fall into the unfairness of
Did-
trade practices.
The
there.
shambong.
yeah, it
They
could
made
be.
the use of the shambong.
Yeah, we got to look into the
The
sham.
ShamWow?
The shambong.
ShamWow.
They probably have ShamWows for cleanup
Clean up.
Yeah, of
After
said
the-
shambong.
after shambong gone
shambong.
Yeah.
wrong.
When it's been used
Yeah.
as a shampoo.
Shambong gone wrong.
Do
Chris-
they need a sham lawyer?
Better call Saul.
Cut that. Timestamp that one for me. Timestamp that one for me. Christina, if you are a professional consultant, you're a television host, you do a lot. If people want to engage with you professionally, where should they go?
Right now, Instagram, just at Teeny Dees.
The IG.
T-E.
Teeny Dees. You're a good follow on Instagram, too.
T-E-E-N-Y-D-E-E-S.
You do a lot of cool music stuff, too, in like the roots rock reggae kind of space, too.
Yeah, I'm a huge reggae fan.
I want to see more of that.
Sweet.
I want to tag along and watch you do more of it and record it so I can say I've met my favorite bands, too.
Perfect.
Yes.
Dream team. We'll
That's
do
a
it.
contract.
That's contract.
That was a
Contract right
contract.
there.
Yep, she agreed.
He agreed. He's going to go to
Offer,
Reggae
accept,
Rise Up with
accepted.
me.
Yes.
He's going to be the camera guy. We're going to do it.
Yes. All right. Brandon, everybody knows where to find you. It's Port City Attorney.
Port City Attorney.
.com.
Hit me a follow. Yeah, I mean that. I have a website, but yeah, go Port City Attorney. I'm starting to do more YouTube stuff, so go subscribe to my YouTube.
I really like that. The Port City Attorney brand is great. I looked into Port City Insurance, but somebody already had it taken. I'm out of that
We
bit.
can't talk about that anymore.
We can talk about the past. We can talk
No,
about
that's
things
true.
that
Too
I
soon,
thought
though.
about.
No, it's not too
I
soon.
bought the Port City Attorney. Well, I didn't. I bought the URL, but I got all the like the social handles when I was like a second year in law school because I knew that I wanted to start my own law
Dude,
firm.
my
He's been
boy's
playing
wicked
wicked
smart.
smart.
Wicked
Wicked
smart.
smart. He's been planning it for
Oh,
days.
you're reading your George
Speaking of
Gershwin.
wicked smart.
I love It's Always Summer.
Oh, I love it.
Wow.
I love it. That's going to do
All
it for this episode of Signal Fire Radio 2.0. We thank you so very much for being here. Until next time, go out, strengthen your mind, feed your body, enrich your spirit, and grow your tribe. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace.
TK, will you take a quick picture?